Just when you thought summer was over. We're actually in autumn now, September. And here we go. There's a hot spell on the way.
Hello there, it's what we've been waiting for, but finally after 2 months we've got a weekend where high pressure is going to be in charge. It's been building its way in from the Atlantic and it's going to be sticking with the vast majority of us throughout Saturday and Sunday. The exception to that is the very far north of Scotland with this trailing frontal feature. Those isobars squeezing together a touch more as well will make it feel a bit different compared to elsewhere in the UK, but we'll get more details on Sunday later on. Even though into the start of Saturday there has been quite a north-south contrast in conditions, holding on to the clear spells across parts of north-east Scotland, we dropped down to 0.8 degrees Celsius at Braemar, quite a chilly start. But central areas of London, underneath the more extensive cloud across parts of England and Wales, not dropping below 17 degrees Celsius. The cloud that has been around is slowly breaking its way up, and increasingly into the afternoon more of us will see those sunny spells developing. Sunshine could still be hazy at times as the cloud comes and goes, but a relatively fine afternoon for many of us. Can't rule out the odd light shower for parts of England and Wales, but they'll be fairly fleeting. Most of us won't see one and will stay largely dry. Temperatures also a notch up compared to recent days, climbing towards highs of 24, 25 degrees Celsius across parts of England and Wales, but even into parts of central Scotland, Northern Ireland, seeing 21 to 22 degrees Celsius, so really rather pleasantly warm. Into this evening as well, a relatively fine end to the day. The cloud melting away a touch, allowing some clear intervals to develop. Into the overnight period, though, the mist and fog will be returning, perhaps most extensively for central areas of and eastern areas of England, but we can't really rule out patches elsewhere across parts of western Wales into northwest England and Northern Ireland as well. It is, though, going to be the far north of Scotland where we start to see that frontal feature becoming a bit more present. Outbreaks of heavy rain for parts of the Isle of Lewis and towards Orkney and Shetland throughout the early hours of Sunday morning. It will also be turning quite windy around coastal areas in particular. A quite noticeably warmer night to come for northern areas of Scotland underneath all that cloud and the breeze compared to the 0.8 degrees that we had on Saturday morning. Some areas could be holding up around 13, 14 degrees, perhaps 15 degrees Celsius across those northern coasts of Moray and Aberdeenshire. Elsewhere, it will also be a relatively mild night once again. Most towns and cities holding up around 13, 12 degrees Celsius. Some rural spots may still drop down into single figures. Once the early mist and fog does clear its way off across Northern Ireland, Wales and England, it should be another relatively fine day. A good amount of sunshine coming through and will again feel pleasantly warm in there as well. Perhaps a touch more wispy cloud for parts of northern England, southern Scotland into Northern Ireland as well. So again, skies could be milky at times, the sunshine slightly hazy, but it's going to be northwest Scotland that holds on to the thickest and most persistent cloud. Whilst the rain will be heavy at first, it will tend to ease off as we head towards lunchtime, so generally turning lighter and patchier, but still for the western Northern Isles down into the Highlands, a relatively damp day here and quite windy as well. Gale force winds across parts of coastal areas, those gusts of 35, 38 miles an hour, really making it feel noticeably cooler and very different compared to elsewhere in the UK, where those winds are going to be much lighter, pretty much flat light across the board. And with those light winds and the sunshine, temperatures responding once again, climbing more towards 26 degrees Celsius, particularly across eastern areas of England, but widely, many of us reaching the mid-20s. Just down a touch across Northern Ireland, central Scotland, 21, 20 Celsius, but eastern areas of Scotland where you're sheltered from that breeze and see a little bit more sunshine, still a very pleasant, warm 23 degrees Celsius. Into the evening as well, many of us getting off with a relatively nice end to the weekend. Cloud melting away, some late sunshine as well. The rain just persisting across the far north there as well. As we head into the new working week, high pressure is going to be staying with us for the vast majority of us. Again, the best and most prolonged amounts of sunshine will be further towards the south of the UK. The cloud just coming and going a touch more still across the far north and stretching down into central Scotland, parts of Northern Ireland as well. Temperatures, though, will be continuing to climb widely into the mid-20s, if not the high 20s by the time we reach Tuesday and Wednesday. 29 degrees Celsius, certainly possible. We may also climb towards 30 degrees Celsius in a few spots as well. And that's a temperature we haven't reached since the very start of July. So We might be into meteorological autumn, but it's giving us something a bit more summery that many of us have been missing. We'll keep you up to date, of course, on all the latest across our social media channels, so do follow us as there for all regular updates and information, and we'll be back here with your next broadcast very soon. Bye-bye.